What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski and I am back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys the well-awaited guide for Breed Sea Animal Circus. Now, this brand new Fortnite dungeon is actually pretty cool, introduces a whole bunch of brand new units, and also has some very nice skill books as well. So before we get into today's video, guys, if you guys do go on to enjoy it, make sure to always smack the like button down below, as it's always greatly appreciated. But without further ado, guys, let's get straight into the video. So the first unit we're going to have a look at is actually Breed himself. So Breed, user of the Peto fruit, and he is a 4-star unit that does evolve from a 3-star unit. He is an int cerebral powerhouse type character, and he does max out at level 99 with some very nice stats for a Fortnite unit. You know, just over 2,000 health, 1311 attack, and 180 recovery, so some very nice stats right there. And he does have under 20 cost, which means he can be using the Sengoku team, and that is what I'm gonna keep bringing up in today's video, is how good this guy is for a Sengoku team. So he has 20 cost, and he has 3 socket spots. So for a Fortnite unit to have 3 socket spots and just the abilities that this guy has is insane. So his captain effect will boost the attack of cerebral and powerhouse characters by 2 times. So for all of you guys out there that want to run a cerebral or a powerhouse team but don't have the rare recruit units to do so, and this guy's actually a pretty decent captain until we get, you know, some more cerebral and powerhouse characters for all of you guys to pull, because you know, cerebral and powerhouses are actually very good units. It's just a shame that we don't have that many like decent captains at the moment. You know, we've got a couple of them, but they're all rare recruit ones, so this guy's actually not too bad until you get those rare recruit captains. And then his special, which starts at 22 turns and maxes at 14, so you don't need to get that many skill ups. It will slightly boost the chance of getting matching orbs for 3 turns for your entire team. That is actually just insane. Just that alone is very good. And then it will also boost his own attack by 1.75 times for 1 turn. So if you just kind of like, think about this, how good this actually is, you're going to be getting for 3 turns a slightly better chance of getting matching orbs, and he's going to give himself a 1.75 times boost of attack for just that 1 turn. And if you look at his stats overall, you know, 1300 attack, and if you put him in a Sengoku team, you know, you times that by 9 because it's a 3 times attack with 2 captains. And just overall, this character, this unit is just insane, and he's also an int unit, so even if you can't use his special to boost his own attack, you got guys like Robin and all of that to boost him as well. And all you really need is like an orb booster as well, which would make just this guy just overall just helps out Sengoku teams immensely. And he's just an all-round great unit, a great cerebral unit, a great powerhouse unit, and also a great int unit overall. So I think that this is one of the better Fortnite characters that we'll be seeing in One Piece Treasure Cruise. So I definitely recommend for all you guys out there with a Sengoku, or just anyone really, to try and max out this guy, because his special is actually very useful. Now, the next unit we are going to have a look at is the Fu Dugong Sea Animal Pirate. So this one is a 4-star unit and is a Psi Fighter powerhouse type character. And it does have 18 costs with 2 socket spots. And it does max out at level 70 with some pretty decent stats for a 4-star unit. You know, it's got 1115 attack, which is not too bad. It does lack in the health department though, only having 450 health, which is quite lacking. And he does have 225 recovery, which is quite nice. And his captain effect will boost the attack by 2.5 times after scoring 3 perfects in a row. So he's kind of like a really weak Gear 3. You know, Gear 3 giving 3.5 after 3 perfects. And you got the Fu Dugong, which actually, you know, to be honest, if you guys are just starting out the game, this guy actually isn't that bad if you're just starting out. But overall, for all you guys, you know, that have played through the game and, you know, have decent captains and all that, this guy isn't really that great for a captain effect. His special, which starts at 20 turns and maxes at 12, will remove poison altogether. Following the activation of this special, if every unit scores a perfect hit in that turn, boost the attack of fighter characters by 1.75 in the following turn. So this guy is actually really decent. You know, you kind of have to use it preemptively, because you kind of got to figure out when you're actually, you know, going to, you know, get that boost, because you do have to wait in the following turn. But overall, this character is actually not that bad. You know, his special starts at 12, or maxes at 12 turns, so it is kind of manageable. The only thing is, you don't get that boost to your characters right away, and you do have to meet the condition of getting perfects for all of your characters in that turn before getting that attack boost, which is kind of a shame. But if you guys need that really strong fighter boost, well, this guy is actually your man, because, you know, 1.75 is a very good boost, and as I said, it is a shame that you do have to meet those conditions before you get that boost. Next unit we're going to have a look at is the Sea Lapin, the Sea Animal Pirate. So this unit is a 3-star unit and is a quick fighter powerhouse type character with 15 cost and a single socket spot as well. And at level 70, at its max level, it has 1700 health, 724 attack, and 112 recovery. So pretty standard for a 3-star unit, nothing too special. It does not have a captain effect, and its special, which maxes at 12 turns, will randomize all orbs and then recover 9 times this character's recovery in HP. So, to be honest, not a very good unit. To be honest, like, there are just other units you could use in its place that would do a better job. If you really need a unit that randomizes orbs, you know, you really could just use someone that manipulates orbs better. You know, this unit doesn't randomize it to a specific orb, it just fully randomizes it. And it doesn't include the block orbs as well, which does make this unit a little less useful. So overall, not a very good unit. But now let's move on to the hidden boss of this dungeon, which is the Octopus Boxer. So as I just mentioned, guys, this is the hidden boss for this Fortnite dungeon. It is the Octopus Boxer of the Sea Animal Pirates and is a 3-star unit and is a strength fighter powerhouse character with 15 cost and a single socket spot. And at level 70, at its max level, it does have pretty standard, you know, 3-star stats. It does not have a captain effect, but its special, which starts at 27 turns and maxes at 12, will randomly change all orbs into either strength, dex, or quick orbs. Now, this can actually be used in conjunction with Izo, Capone, or Blamenco to give you, you know, either full quick orbs, full dex orbs, or full strength orbs. So this actually has some use, but you know, it is kind of annoying. You can't really put him in a dex team or in a quick team because he is a strength unit. But you know, if you partner this with Blamenco, you can get a full team of red orbs, which is actually pretty nice. So this unit can have its uses, still not as useful as some other units that we've had in Fortnite dungeons, but overall it's a pretty decent unit. It does have its uses, as I said. But now let's move on to the actual breakdown of this dungeon. So before we get into the breakdown of the dungeon, let's quickly have a look at the condition for this Fortnite dungeon, where it states that only fighter and powerhouse units are allowed to be brought. So that kind of changes the way that you'll have to conduct your team. You cannot bring a free-to-play slasher team, unfortunately. So at the end of this video, we're going to have a couple of teams that you can bring to this Fortnite dungeon. But now let's quickly have a look at the breakdown of the dungeon itself. So for the first 4 stages, you'll just come across something like this, where you'll see multiple different colored units, mainly int and psi type units, and there's also the chance of finding and dropping the dugongs from Alabaster as well. And you've also got some turtles and you know, some evolution units like crabs and stuff like that. So for the first 4 stages, it is pretty boring, but then let's jump over to stage 5 right now, where you encounter some new units. So once you arrive at stage 5, you will be encountered by 4 Sea Lapins. Now, all of these guys will have 50,000 health, and if they do attack you, they will deal 3,800 damage to you, so you do have to be careful about that. But you know, they only have 50,000 HP, so they are pretty easy to take down, and they will range between 1 and 3 cooldowns, so make sure that you take down the ones with the lowest cooldowns, and then stall, you know, correctly on the other Sea Lapins to make sure that you're getting the most stall possible, to make sure that your specials are ready to go against the final boss, against Breed. So when you're on the second last stage, you'll encounter Breed, a mini-boss Breed, and also the Dugong that we talked about at the very start of the video. So with Breed himself, he has approximately 250,000 health, and if he does get a chance to attack you, he'll deal 3,810 damage to you, and he will attack every 2 turns with a 2-turn cooldown. And after the 4th turn, he'll actually recover back up to 80% of his full HP. So that is something you have to keep in mind. Make sure you're taking him down before that 4th turn surpasses. And then the Dugong, he has approximately 250,000 health as well, but his attack power is 2,620, and he will actually attack you every single turn. Now, if the Dugong falls below 20% health, he'll boost his attack, and that means that when he does attack you next time, he will be doing over 5,000 damage to you. So you definitely want to try and target down the Dugong first, as he does have, you know, the lowest cooldown, and he will be doing damage to you every single turn. So you have to be very, very careful about that. But overall, this is a pretty simple stage. You just have to make sure that you're not taking too much damage before you reach the final boss in stage 7, being Breed himself. So on the rare occasion you may come across the hidden stage of this dungeon being the Octopus Boxer. Now he doesn't actually do that much, but he does have a 1 to 3 turn cooldown, which can be a little bit annoying if he does have a really low cooldown. And this Octopus Boxer right here does have approximately 300,000 health, and he doesn't actually do anything until his health falls below 20%, where he'll buff his own attack and then chain 3 units on your team for 2 turns. So once again, you know, it's just with that same sort of ideology where you have to make sure that you don't make them fall below 20%. Otherwise, they will do a really bad effect to you. But overall, this is a very, very simple stage, and especially when the actual hidden boss himself has a really high cooldown, it makes this stage very, very easy. So once you reach stage 7 after successfully beating the previous 6 stages, you'll come across the boss himself being Breed. So this guy here has 920,000 health with an attack power of 8,000, although he will attack you every 3 turns. Now, he does have a preemptive attack, which will cut down your HP down to 30% of your remaining HP. So it actually cannot kill you, but you do have to be careful. You know, it does knock you down quite a fair bit of HP. And not only does he do that, but he also changes all of your orbs into either block, recovery, or tandem orbs. So once again, you know, this guy's an absolute monster. You know, not only is he just going to cut down your HP, he's going to give you really average orbs as well. And then after the 4th turn, if this guy's still alive, he'll summon 4 sea Lapins. So then he'll summon more enemies that you have to try and beat. And if he falls under 50% HP, he will berserk himself, which basically means he'll go to a 1-turn cooldown, and he will basically just buff his attack. And this buff attack means that his regular attack power will become 12,000. So once again, like, this guy is an absolute monster, and in my opinion, he's one of the most difficult, you know, bosses. However, you know, you can stall him out. He doesn't have a, you know, a debuff protector or anything like that, so you can just bring a delayer, which does help in trying to beat him. But even if you do delay him, I do believe that he will still summon the 4 sea Lapins after the 4th turn, so you do have to be very, very careful about that. So anyways, this has been the breakdown of the dungeon itself. Now let's go and break down all of the skill books that you'll be able to find within this brand new Fortnite. Now, myself personally, I'm actually super hyped that we are getting Strong World Ace skill books in this brand new Fortnite. You know, Strong World Ace has a very, very good skill that reduces your HP by 40%, and then the amount of HP that you lost from that is times by 15 and dealt as damage to all enemies, which is really nice. And then it also locks your orbs for 1 turn as well. So Strong World Ace has a very, very nice skill, a very good shooter captain, and I'm very, very hyped that we're getting this skill book. And you know, it will be available during times 2 skill up. The second week of this fortnight will be during times 2 skill up, so a good opportunity to farm these books and then feed them for double skill up. So also Inazuma books as well, because previous fortnight we got Koala and Hack, and in this fortnight we got Inazuma, so that's awesome. And moving on from that, you got Gecko Moria. Once again, I think this is like the 3rd time we've had Gecko Moria skill books out, so you know, that's kind of a thing as well. So then you move on from that and you've got Tilestone. Now Tilestone is a very interesting one as well. So if you guys don't know what his skill does, it will deal 20,000 fixed damage to a single enemy. And the reason why that's good is because it's very good against Princess Turtles, or I don't remember the actual name that they've dubbed it for the global version, but the Princess Turtles have 12,500 damage or health, and you cannot break through their defense because they have like 400,000 defense or something. So having Tilestone to deal fixed damage that will one-shot a Princess Turtle is very, very useful, and lowering the cooldown will mean that you can complete the runs against Princess Turtles a lot faster. So it's Tilestone skill books. If you guys have farmed Tilestone on Water 7, the skill books are now available, so it's actually a very, very good skill to try and max out. Moving on from that, you have the hidden boss of this fortnight being the Octopus Boxer, and we did mention his skill before. It does randomize all your orbs into either strength, dex, or quick, so it can be useful here and there. Moving on from that, you've got Ace, the regular 5-star Ace that we had, like one of the first units all the way back at the start of One Piece Treasure Cruise, and we've had his skill books back quite a few times. And then you've got the Dugongs from Alabasta, and you've also got the guy from Jaya, one of Bellamy's crew. He doesn't have that great of a special, it just does some damage, but overall, some pretty decent skill books here and there. If you guys have these units, I strongly recommend to max them out, especially if you have the Legend Ace. Gecko Moria's got some nice orb manipulation, Inazuma's got some nice damage reduction, Tilestone for Princess Turtles, and the rest are just kind of there. So overall, pretty decent skill books within this fortnight. Now let's go over the team breakdowns for this fortnight. So the first first one I'm going to recommend to you guys is a free-to-play side team. Now, this does utilize a double Garp as a friend captain and your captain. This enables you to get double HP for Psi units and then double attack for Psi units. And if you double that with your friend Garp as well, it's 4 times HP and attack to your Psi units, which is very, very nice. And you've also got the 1000 Sunny for another 1.5 times attack boost as well. Now, the sub-unit does include Golden Pound Usopp for delay. It does help out quite a fair bit. Then you've got Mr. 2, which is farmable from Alabasta, I believe. So you can farm Mr. 2 there if you guys have him, or if you've pulled him from Rare Recruit, you can do that as well. You can replace Mr. 2 with just another strong Psi unit if you really want, but it is very, very recommended that you do have Mr. 2, as he does work very well in tandem with Garp. And then you've also got Kobe for a nice orb boost, and the last unit really can be anything. I tried to think of a good unit that would be very, very good in this team, but I really couldn't think of like one single unit that would fit really well in this last spot. So I would just recommend to you guys to put your best Psi unit in there, as you know, he'll just be able to fit right well with the Psi team. So overall, this team will work very well, very safe team. Probably not the fastest team, but a very, very safe team against the Breed Fortnite. Now, the last team I'm going to recommend to you guys is Monster Chopper in the house, MC in the house. And this team is very risky because, you know, as you guys should know, Monster Chopper does not give you that much HP. So with this team, you're utilizing a double Monster Chopper with Kuma. I strongly recommend Kuma, and especially if you do have him on a very low cooldown, because he will enable you to get at least 3 strength orbs on your team, which will help out immensely against Breed, because, you know, if you guys don't know, or if you guys didn't listen before, he will do a little bit of orb manipulation to you, giving you some really bad orbs. So having Kuma to give you at least 3 strength orbs, that does help out a lot. And then you also have Kobe there. He'll give you a 1.5 times orb boost for 2 turns. So that's really, really good in partnership with Kuma as well, giving you 3 strength orbs. Now, the last 2 units, really, I couldn't think of good units to put there, similar with the Psi team. I really couldn't think of like 1 or 2 good units to put in. I would just recommend to you guys to put your best strength units on the team. And it's actually kind of good with this team because Kobe isn't a strength unit, he will give you a decent amount of HP that isn't reduced because of the Monster Chopper Captain effect. So with this team, you do have to be very, very careful, especially on stages 6 and 7, because they have very low cooldowns on stage 6, and they can do a lot of damage to you. And then on stage 7, you have to make sure that you take him down before he does any damage to you, because any attack from Breed on that last stage, he will one-shot you, so you have to be very, very careful about that. So that is going to conclude yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.